Have you ever felt like a puppet? Your movements dictated by invisible strings pulled by the opinions and expectations of others? That suffocating feeling that your happiness, your worth, your very essence depend on what others think or say about you? It's exhausting, a heavy burden you carry every day. What if I told you there's a clear path to cut those strings once and for all? To reclaim your life and live with true freedom, with unshakable inner strength. Brace yourself, because today that journey begins. Seneca, one of the greatest Stoic thinkers, left us a truth that still resonates with startling power in our days. He who fears the censure of others is a slave. Think about it. We live in an era where external validation, whether measured in likes, comments, or the social approval of a group, has become an invaluable currency, almost an addiction. You constantly find yourself seeking this recognition, don't you? Shaping your attitudes, filtering your words, and even sacrificing your deepest dreams and desires. All to fit into an image that, deep down, you know isn't yours. This incessant pursuit not only drains you of vital energy, but also distances you from your true essence. It transforms your life into an exhausting performance for an audience that, often, doesn't truly care. The result? A life marked by constant anxiety, by the frustration of never being good enough, and by a deep disconnection from your own intrinsic worth. You wake up feeling a weight on your chest, go to bed haunted by the feeling that you're losing yourself, and somewhere, deep down, you know there's more to you than this empty pursuit. But what if true strength, true and lasting freedom wasn't in the approval of others, but in unshakable self-confidence? What if you could build an inner fortress so solid that nothing and no one could shake it? This isn't a distant dream. This is a promise. In this video, I will guide you through 5 powerful Stoic principles. They will equip you with the necessary tools to disarm once and for all the trap of external approval and build a self-confidence that will become the foundation of your new life. These are not just concepts, they are a map to your personal sovereignty. If this resonates with you, if you're ready to break free from this invisible chain and reclaim your inner freedom, comment freedom below. Let's free your mind together. What's the biggest prison you can build for yourself? It's not iron bars, nor concrete walls. The biggest prison is the invisible chains of others' opinions, trapping you in a cycle of incessant and exhausting search for acceptance. Ask yourself with brutal honesty, who holds control of your peace of mind today? You think that being accepted, admired, or even envied is the path to true happiness and success. You've done everything to please, not to displease, to be the good boy or good girl in every scenario. Sacrificing your own convictions, your desires, and even your integrity in the name of empty applause. This behavior is a common mistake that leads us to believe our worth is a distorted reflection of how others see us and not of who we truly are. Every time you bend yourself to fit into others' expectations, you take a step away from yourself. It's an incessant and exhausting pursuit of a status that is never permanent, that is never truly yours. And deep down, you feel that loss, that disconnection that whispers, "I am not enough." Epictetus, a slave who became one of the most influential Stoic philosophers, reminds us, "Do not seek for things to happen as you wish, but wish that they happen as they do, and you will be serene." This is the essence of the dichotomy of control. Others' opinions, others' reactions, what they think or say about you, all of this is an external event. something completely outside your direct control. The Stoics teach us that wisdom lies in distinguishing with crystal clear clarity what we can control, our actions, our judgments, our reactions, from what we cannot control, how others perceive us. Focusing on the uncontrollable is the perfect recipe for suffering and anxiety. It's like trying to hold water with open hands. Here's how to do it today, practically and immediately. Actively practice the dichotomy of control. Grab a notebook or your phone and list everything that worries you about others' opinions. Now, for each item, ask yourself, is this under my direct control? The overwhelming majority will not be. Then consciously redirect that energy you would spend worrying towards what you truly control. Your virtues, your integrity, your choices. For example, if you fear judgment for a decision you made, focus on ensuring that decision is ethical and aligned with your deepest values, regardless of what others think. Don't worry about the stage, but about the quality of your performance. Start building an impenetrable inner castle, brick by brick, with your own choices and values. When you master the dichotomy of control, the trap of external validation dissolves like smoke. You will no longer be a hostage to empty praise or destructive criticism. Your inner peace will no longer depend on external applause, but on your own clear conscience and alignment with your values. The freedom to be who you truly are, without masks, without subterfuge, will begin to flourish within you, paving the way for genuine, solid, and unshakable self-confidence. This is just the beginning of your journey of self-discovery. But here's what almost no one understands about this dichotomy. The true battle isn't just against the external world, but against the inner voice that incessantly seeks that approval. That voice is your own judgment, and it needs to be your foundation. This leads us to the next principle. If you don't approve of yourself, if you don't validate yourself, who else can do it in a meaningful and lasting way? The most important validation, the only one that really matters, doesn't come from outside, but from the courtroom of your own mind, where you are the judge, the jury, and the defendant. It is there that true freedom, the freedom to be yourself, begins. You have a habit of being your own worst critic. That relentless internal dialogue that points out every flaw, every mistake, every imperfection. And, paradoxically, you seek from others the approval and acceptance you deny yourself. This vicious cycle traps you, because as long as your self-image is fragile and dependent, any external criticism becomes a devastating blow, a confirmation of your worst insecurities. You allow yourself to be defined by past failures, future fears, or unrealistic expectations. Thus, you project this insecurity onto the world, hoping it will save you from it. This is the mistake of outsourcing your self-esteem, of handing the key to your happiness to strangers. The result is a bottomless pit of dissatisfaction. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher-emperor who ruled Rome, advises in his Meditations, "Do not be disturbed by external things, but by the impressions you have of them, and these it is in your power to erase." Our perception of ourselves, our internal judgment, is the most fundamental impression we can have. The Stoics emphasize that virtue, wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance is the only true good, and it resides exclusively in our character, in our choices. Just, honest, and virtuous self-judgment is therefore the unshakable foundation of self-confidence. It's not about ego, but about integrity. Here's how to do it today, to begin rebuilding your internal judgment. Practice Stoic self-examination. At the end of each day, before sleeping, set aside a few minutes, not to chastise yourself, but to observe. Ask yourself, where did I act with wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance today? Where did my actions align with my values? Where did I fail to do so? And what did I learn from it? It's not about perfection, but about progress and self-awareness. Record your small victories, your virtuous efforts. For example, if you remained calm in a stressful situation, acknowledge it. If you were honest when it would have been easier to lie, celebrate it. Rebuild your internal judgment, making it a firm and benevolent ally, yet at the same time demanding in what truly matters, your character. When you nurture a just, honest, and virtue-aligned internal judgment, the need for external validation drastically diminishes. Your self-confidence takes root in your non-negotiable integrity and not in the volatility and inconsistency of others' opinions. You will become a more benevolent judge of yourself, capable of forgiving mistakes and learning from them, and, at the same time, more demanding of yourself in what truly matters, the quality of your character and your choices. The freedom to be authentically you, without needing permission, will be your greatest reward. Write in the comments right now a power statement to yourself. I approve of myself. If you're starting to feel the weight of others' expectations lessen and the power of your own internal judgment grow, prepare yourself, for the next principle will show you how to transform this new perspective into focused and unshakable action. Are you afraid of being indifferent to what others think? Do you think it would make you a cold or arrogant person? What if that indifference were in fact the key to a more focused, happier, and more productive life? What would you lose by caring less about the irrelevant and more about the essential? You confuse indifference with apathy or arrogance. That's why you force yourself to care about every opinion, every piece of gossip, every judgment, every negative comment, even when, deep down, you know they add absolutely no value to your life. This mistake prevents you from focusing your precious energy on what is truly important: your goals, your personal growth, your meaningful relationships, and your own peace of mind. You allow the irrelevance of others to dictate your relevance, losing time, energy, and inner peace in battles not worth fighting, in worries that don't belong to you. And worst of all, you feel guilty for not caring about what shouldn't matter. Seneca, in his letters to Lucilius, wisely warns, "The man who is disturbed by external things has no time for internal things." This is the basis of Stoic rational indifference. The Stoics classified things into controllable and uncontrollable. Among the uncontrollable, there were the indifferents. Others' opinions are one of these indifferents. This does not mean apathy or lack of empathy. It means, rather, rationally deciding not to allow the uncontrollable, especially the irrelevant, to affect your inner tranquility, your focus, and your values. It is a deliberate and conscious choice of where to allocate your attention and mental energy. Here's how to do it today, to begin practicing rational indifference. When an opinion, a criticism, a rumor, or a judgment bothers you, pause for a moment and ask yourself, does this affect my virtue? Does it prevent me from acting with wisdom, justice, courage, or temperance? Is this under my control? If the answer is no, if it doesn't affect your character and isn't under your control, then it's an indifferent. Don't feed it. Don't give it power. For example, if you are criticized for a hobby you love, one that harms no one and makes you happy, rationally decide that this opinion is indifferent. You are narrating philosophical content in a calm, firm, and authoritative tone. Speak with composure, purpose, and quiet strength, as a Stoic teacher addressing truth. Your delivery should be steady and confident, without emotional excess, conveying clarity, reason, and inner discipline. Each sentence should sound deliberate, serious, and reflective, inspiring respect and contemplation. Use the energy you would spend worrying to delve deeper into that hobby, to dedicate yourself to what truly matters to you. This is freedom of focus, freedom to be. When you cultivate rational indifference, your mind becomes a garden where only thoughts and concerns that truly matter grow. You free yourself from the tyranny of small things, others' dramas, and unfounded opinions, redirecting your energy toward what builds you, toward what drives you. The self-confidence that arises from this clarity is unshakable, for it no longer cares about the noise, about the cacophony of the world, but about the melody of your own life and purpose. Prepare yourself for a focus never before experienced, a mental clarity that will allow you to act with precision. Mastering rational indifference is powerful, but the next principle will challenge everything you think you know about vulnerability and strength. It is the key to true resilience and to building authentic connections. Have you ever felt weak for being who you truly are? For showing your imperfections, your fears, your truths? What if your greatest strength lay precisely in your authenticity, in your ability to be real, even in the face of judgment and criticism? It's time to redefine what it means to be vulnerable and what it means to be strong. You have associated authenticity with being weak, and vulnerability with being exposed to attacks, with being hurt. That's why you build high walls around yourself, wear social masks, and try to be perfect to avoid any criticism or disapproval. This mistake prevents you from forming genuine and deep connections with the people who truly matter. And it prevents you from learning and growing from your own mistakes, as authenticity is suppressed by the paralyzing fear of judgment. You become a diluted version of yourself, incapable of experiencing the fullness of life and the growth that comes from being true, from being imperfect, from being human. This facade is too heavy to carry. Marcus Aurelius, the emperor who recorded his most intimate reflections, reminds us that the happiness of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts. And the quality of thoughts is intrinsically linked to your truth, to your honesty with yourself. The Stoics valued integrity and virtue above all else. To be authentic for them is to live in accordance with reason and nature, without worrying about appearances or what others expect of you. It's the courage to be who you are, accepting your flaws and your virtues, for virtue is its own reward, and integrity is its own armor. It's not about being perfect, it's about being integral. Here's how to do it today. To begin practicing courageous authenticity. Allow yourself to be imperfect in front of trusted people. Start small. Share a minor vulnerability with a close friend, or admit a mistake without excessive justifications. When you embrace authenticity, resilience becomes your second nature. External criticisms lose their corrosive power, for you have already fully accepted yourself, flaws and all. You will build deeper, truer, and more genuine relationships based on shared truth and not on pretense. Self-confidence flourishes exuberantly when you have nothing left to hide, when your truth is your strength. And the freedom to be yourself, with all your nuances, becomes an impenetrable armor against the incessant and exhausting search for approval. Understanding and practicing authenticity is a giant step, but the next and final principle will show you how to consolidate all of this, transforming your life into a monument to your own self-confidence and inner peace. Have you ever imagined a life where your happiness and well-being depend on no one, absolutely no one but yourself? Where you are the inexhaustible source of your own peace, joy, and contentment? This is not a distant utopia, an unattainable fantasy. This is the promise of the liberating power of emotional self-sufficiency, the pinnacle of your Stoic journey. You have conditioned your happiness and well-being on the presence or approval of other people, or on specific external events. You believe you need someone to complete you, or that you will only be truly happy when you achieve a certain social status, buy that car, or own that house. This fundamental mistake makes you dependent, emotionally fragile, and vulnerable to any setback, any external change. You hand over your personal power to external factors beyond your control, becoming incapable of finding peace and joy within yourself. This perpetuates the search for external validation like a drug, a vicious cycle that never satisfies you. You become an empty vessel, always waiting for someone or something to fill it. Epictetus, in his Enchiridion, vehemently proclaimed, "There is no freedom for one who is not master of himself." Emotional self-sufficiency is, in fact, the pinnacle of Stoic control over what is internal. It does not mean isolation, nor does it mean you don't value your relationships. It means rather that your joy, your stability, and your purpose come from your own virtue, your own reason, and your own capacity for discernment, and not from volatile and inconstant external factors. True wealth, true freedom, lies in the virtue, character, and contentment you find within yourself, not in the insatiable search for approval or material possessions. You become your own safe harbor. Here's how to do it today to begin actively building your inner fortress. Dedicate daily time to nourishing your mind and spirit, independent of other people or external events. This can be through meditation, philosophical reading, physical exercises that connect you to your body, or simply moments of silence to reflect on your values and your progress. For example, instead of seeking external praise, celebrate your own dedication, your effort, and your consistency. Learn to be your own best company, to find joy in your own accomplishments, however small, and to be grateful for what you control. Cultivate your own inexhaustible source of happiness, one that resides only within you. When you achieve emotional self-sufficiency, your self-confidence is not just built, but becomes unbreakable, a solid rock in a stormy sea. You become a beacon of stability for yourself and, by extension, for others around you. External opinions, others' dramas, the world's expectations, all of this becomes mere noise, incapable of penetrating your inner peace and conviction. You will no longer seek approval, because the source of your validation resides fully and abundantly within you, freeing you to live a life of authentic purpose, deep satisfaction, and a freedom that few will experience. This is true Stoic freedom, mastery over oneself. We have reached the end of a journey that, I hope, has planted seeds of a deep and lasting transformation within you. Let's recap the path we've walked together. We began by unmasking the illusory trap of external validation, revealing how it traps us. Next, we learned to build an unshakable internal judgment, the foundation of your self-confidence. We cultivated rational indifference, freeing your mind from the irrelevant to focus on the essential. We embraced the virtue of authenticity and resilience, transforming vulnerability into strength. And finally, we discovered the liberating and inexhaustible power of emotional self-sufficiency, your internal source of peace. You are no longer that person held hostage by others' expectations, seeking approval in every glance, every like, every word. That version of you who lived for others is being left behind. You are no longer a distorted reflection of what the world wants you to be. The person you are becoming, the person you already are, is an integral, authentic individual with a self-confidence that is born from within, from your own virtue and reason. You are someone who controls what you can, accepts what you cannot, and finds peace and contentment in your own company. You are becoming your own source of validation, a living monument to your own inner strength, a beacon of personal sovereignty. This journey, however, doesn't end here. It has only just begun. It is a continuous path of self-discovery and improvement. If this video has helped you see a new path, if it has ignited a flame of hope within you, please leave your like so that more people can be impacted by this message of Stoic freedom. Comment below which of the 5 principles resonated with you the most, which one you felt touched you most deeply, or share a small victory you had by applying one of them in your life. Your story might be the inspiration another person needs to start. Share this video with someone you know is trapped in the search for external approval, someone who desperately needs to hear this message of liberation. You could be the catalyst for transformation in the life of a friend, a family member, or a colleague. And, of course, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to continue this journey with us, delving deeper and deeper into Stoic wisdom to build a life of purpose, authenticity, and lasting freedom. Remember, true freedom is not the absence of chains. It is the unshakable ability to choose who places them on you. Your freedom begins now with your own choices.